Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Educ Show. I am your host, Educ Jerome. This is the place for intelligent conversation with interesting people. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and you'll get notified when I post content each and every week. I have a very special guest this morning. I want to welcome Ashanna Andrews. She, along with her co-star Lamont Young, are starring in the new film in the Midst of Them, written and directed by the multi-talented Terrence Ivory. Ashanna is a Bay Area native and a proud honors graduate of San Francisco State University. She majored in communications with an emphasis on performance studies. She has honed her acting skills through training with the organization Film Acting Bay Area, the San Francisco's Academy of Arts Summer Training Congress, and sessions at the prestigious Berkeley Repertory Theater. Her role as Rose Morning is her first on-screen character role. So congratulations, Ashanna, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here with you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So let's get into it. First of all, congratulations on In the Midst of Them.
Thank
Um, Tell me about the when you first got the script and how you came to be a part of this project.
Terrence reached out to me. He said, just sort of out of the blue. He didn't even know that I was back in the Bay Area prior to the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. I was in LA. And so he said he just reached out to me on a whim, not even expecting that I was here. And I was like, yeah, I'm in the Bay Area. And originally he reached out to me, I think, for something else. I'm not sure if he reached out to me about the play first and then this came, but he reached out to me about this. He sent me a couple pages of the script. I read it. It was just exciting first, just to connect with him. And then once I read the script, of course, that got me excited and got my juices flowing. And hearing his sense of enthusiasm about the project really lit me up.
Tell me about the character you play, Rose Morning, and how you prepared to play this role.
Rose is the female lead. She is a mother and a wife and many other things. I don't want to give too much away. I'm scared to give away the juicy tidbits. The way I prepared for the role was listening to the direction that the director gave when he was describing role, being intentional about the adjectives that he was using and really trying to hold that in my mind as I read the script so that I could have a clear vision of how he saw the character. I always read the script several times and get sort of actor nerdy with the language. Like, what kinds of things does Rose say about herself? What kinds of things do other people say about say about Rose? And if there's any adverbs in the actual script about how Rose does something, sort of like in the stage directions, I pay attention to those things to give me information about the character.
I've had the pleasure of working with Terrence on a project that we did a few years ago, a short film called Blue Eyeshadow.
Mm-hmm.
And Terrence's set is always open and inviting and
Mm-hmm.
collaborative. Tell me about working with Terrence and how the vibe was set on the actual set of the movie.
Well, you just said it. You know Terrence, you know how he is. He has a big heart. He has a tremendous amount of energy, enthusiasm, and creative juices flowing for the work. You can tell that he is passionate about the work and he's passionate about the project. And I feel like everyone just sort of feeds off his energy and his sense. I keep using the word enthusiasm, but that's what's true. He's enthusiastic. And he's enthusiastic about it. You can tell that it turns him on and it lights him up. So it makes you get excited for the work as well. He starts the day, with a short talk, just sort of inviting everyone into the space and trying to make it an environment of community and an environment of family, even if it's your first time working with him. Even the background actors who came onto the project, you get this spiel about this is a project that we're working on together and like that we appreciate everyone's mutual effort. And it's just good vibes all around.
As mentioned, this is your first on-screen character role. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about how you prepared for that. I mean, being because like you mentioned, you've been in different types of films before. But what did you learn from your first character role, and what were some of the things that surprised you about the process?
What did I learn? So, what did I learn? What surprised me, and there was one more question in
Yeah,
there.
the process of now being a character role where you're actually speaking and emoting and actually embodying someone other than like a training film where you're more demonstrative, I guess.
For that, I feel like the muscle memory is sort of there from doing theater work, and the skills that you have from like taking classes and training, it just sort of shows that I don't feel like I have to like work really hard to recall it. It's like you do a script analysis, you read the script, you naturally get ideas. Like I said, you listen to the director and the input that he gives you. But I really feel like the work of working on the character is knowing what the character wants, what she wants in the relationships that she has to the other people, what her long arc objectives are, like what she wants overall. And if I feel like if I keep that at the front of my mind, I'm always trying to get something. And so I'm always doing that work in the scene for whoever I'm with, working to get what I want. What did I learn? To be well prepared, to trust the process. And honestly, I feel like the script gives you so much information. And if you trust you do the work and then they say you throw it away. You show up and you're still open so that something spontaneous can potentially happen in the moment between, myself and the other people who I'm on screen with. Because, ultimately the work is about relationships. And I feel like that's the main difference in this project compared to the other things that I've booked, which are industrial training videos, things like this. When you do film or character work, it's about relationships. And so I get to be on screen with another person and be open and responsive to the energy that they're giving me.
Um, when actors portray characters, it's inevitable that there's a part of their own personality embedded in the
Mhm.
character. We hear about method actors and actors who go all in, but there has to be at least a little element of your own personality in a character. So, what part of your own personality did you bring to Rose Morning, and how do you think that reflected itself in your performance?
I think Rose's sense of determination, she is very focused on what she wants and she has tenacity and she's going after it. And so I think I relate to her sense of focus, her clear vision. I wouldn't take all the tactics that Rose is willing to take to get what she wants, but that's definitely fun to play on screen.
Um, you had a chance to work, as I mentioned, with Lamont, who's so talented. Lamont can literally
Mhm.
do anything. He can do comedy. He can do drama. He's just a dramatic force to be reckoned with.
Mhm.
What was it like building on-screen chemistry with Lamont, and maybe what are some of the tips or tricks you learned from him?
Lamont and I had some Zoom interview, not Zoom interviews, but Zoom meetings with each other to talk about ourselves as the characters, but also just to talk about ourselves, as our who we are in real life, so that we could have an opportunity to get to know each other, have some familiarity with each other prior to being on set with each other for the first time, and we have to be husband and wife and kiss and hug and do things like that and have those physically intimate moments. So I think just spending some time and in the time that we spent in our Zoom meetings, we were lighthearted, we're cracking jokes, we're just getting to know each other, we're relaxed. And I think that energy just carries over. So that when we're there, the openness has been established. I let him know that just that I'm committed to the work, that I'm going to trust the process. And I keep using the word open, but I think that's so important that I just have to be open and sort of allow the work to happen, allow the relationships to build, allow the yeah, just allow.
One of the things we talked about before we came on, you were mentioning that you were very in tune with self-care
Hmm.
and knowing when to take a break and pause and as I was mentioning to you, that takes a long time for people to learn because most
Hmm.
actors, especially those who are just starting out, they want to go, 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 go. Why or how did you develop your sense of knowing when you need to slow down and pace yourself?
Lord,
Yeah, how did that come about in
I
your
don't. I want this to
approach?
go into a therapy session. I could tell you some things. What's the shorthand version of that? I have been learning how to pause because I literally hear a voice in my head that tells me to like slow down. And I've decided to listen. I'm like, oh, slow down. Oh, maybe I should do that. And so I've been working on not being urgent. We live in a go, 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 go society, whether or not you do this kind of creative work or, if you're just alive. Um, Everything is urgent. Everything is right now. Fast food. You don't have to get out of the car to buy the groceries. They'll bring the groceries to your house. They'll have somebody come to your house and put the groceries in the refrigerator. Everything is built around urgency and convenience. And I want to have a slower life. I want to have a sense of inner peace and inner calm. And I feel like this project actually came to me when I got really relaxed and really open. And it came to me. I didn't have to like seek it out. It wasn't something that my agent sent to me. The work found me. And the immediate project that I did after this found me as well.
We have a couple minutes left, so now let me just talk to you briefly about acting on stage and some of the performances you've done on stage. Um, Now that you've been a character in film and
Mm-hmm.
you've had your earlier career acting on stage, what are some of the subtle differences that maybe you picked up on between acting in front of a camera versus the immediacy of live theater?
The immediacy of life. Well, when you're doing live theater, you get to be with a character for a much longer chunk of time, and you're still making discoveries all throughout the process. And sometimes you're making the discoveries literally in the moment on stage. You've already done the homework, the investigative work, looking at the language, building relationships, exercises in at rehearsal, but even in the moment, you make little discoveries. And the actors are going to give you something different. The people that you're acting up against on stage, they're going to give you something different. And so one night they say something with like a different inflection, and you're still learning. It's like something drops down into your consciousness. And even though you may have already done 10 or 12 performances of it, it helps you understand something differently. And I like those discoveries and that continual learning process. And even in theater, you can have the opportunity to go back to a role years later. In film, it's in the moment. And I feel like it's more trusting the process that they're gonna catch the magic, sort of like when it happens, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It does. As I mentioned, had a chance to see Terrence in action on both, theatrical and on a film set. And
Mm-hmm.
film sets are when you've never been on one, right? You don't see all of the external surrounding
Mm-hmm.
stuff that's going on. There's cables hanging on the wall and there's this and that, but
Yeah.
you have to shut all that out and be in the immediacy of the moment. So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
was curious to ask you about, especially this being your first role. How were you able to block out all of that and not be performing in front of, say, a studio audience or something like that?
I think I have been on set many, many different times filming industrials, the training videos, stuff like that, or PSAs. And so I think I'm used to the visual and technical clutter of like the last PSA that I filmed. At one point, the camera's literally like leaning on my head so that they could get like a shot of my hand in a particular way. Um, it's just I don't know. I feel like it's just the chaos and you just zone it out and you just focus on whatever it is you need to do. And in a way, it sort of like blurs away. I like the community feel of being on a set. Sometimes, there's so many times that you have to like pause sound because something's flying over and there's something or there's a glare on the light. Most of the work is technical, and I love how like 5 people rush in to like fix the issue with the light, just like the community of it.
Last couple questions for you. You are a Bay Area native. You and I were sharing off before we came on that we are both from Richmond, California. Shout out to Richmond, California. What was it about growing up in Richmond that's still in you? And tell me about what people may not understand about growing up in Richmond and the Bay Area.
I feel like I come from energetic people, like really lively people. The people in my immediate family are just fully embodied, like really alive. The neighborhood that I lived in, everyone knew each other. We had like a candy lady. You could just see one of my favorite memories is the summertime, and you just see someone who you didn't know, but you see them eating like an icy, the frozen Kool-Aid in the styrofoam cup. And I don't know you, but you got an icy and I want an icy, and just yelling down the street like, hey, where'd you get that icy from? And you don't know whose house you go into, but they like 2 blocks down, and you just show up at someone's house with your 50 cents and like get your icy cup. Like those are just like little things that I remember and just that were fun. We could just be outside and like make friends with anybody and just have a good time.
Final question for you.
Mhm.
What do you want audiences to take away from the film In the Midst of Them? And what do you want them to take away from your portrayal of Rose Morning?
Oh my good. What do I want them to take away? I was so inspired by Terrence's vision and this world that he's creating for it. So, one, I hope that our audience finds the project and can be invested in it so that Terrence can have his vision of the project fulfilled. I feel like I am a team player in a project, and ultimately the vision is his, and I want for him to have the success that he hopes for it. Like I'm rooting for him, like get it, get it, get it. And then for myself, what do I want them to take away from Rose? Mm, People are complicated,
Mm.
and people have good intentions. Or no, not that people have good intentions. What is the thought? Mm, I'm having so many thoughts about Rose. She's a complicated woman.
That's what people are going to take away. That she's complicated, that she's intriguing, just everything that you brought to the character,
Yes, thank you for that because I'm having so many thoughts about Rose, and I don't want to give away the juicy tidbits that Terrence has embedded. So I'm
sure.
going to say, hang in there and give Rose a chance.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Shauna, if again, congratulations. If people want more information about you, where can they go?
Right now, I do not have any social media. That is draining. I need to get it together.
Not everybody does.
Yeah. So as of right now, just eyes open for my next project as I start auditioning. But I don't have a current central hub of information where people to find me.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Are you represented by an agency?
Yes, I have an agency in San Francisco, TLCE Management.
There you
I'm
go.
going to work on not being so much of an introvert so I can start
You know,
social media.
find your niche, as they say. Everybody's path is different. So,
Yes,
uh,
I'll be in a
well, again, Ashana, thank you so much for coming on the Edu Show. I really appreciate our conversation. The film is In the Midst of Them, written and directed by Terrence Ivory, starring Ashanna Andrews and Lamont Young. For more information about the film, you can go to ivoryarts.org. I believe it's ivoryarts.org.
Mhm.
And you can get all the information about In the Midst of Them, which you are not going to want to miss. So, Ashanna Andrews, thank you so much for coming on the Edu Show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. This has been another edition of the Edric Show. I am your host, Edric Jerome. As promised, intelligent conversation with interesting people. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, and you'll get notified when I post content each and every week. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next episode.